Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good evening and welcome to Car Wax. I'm Michael, your Bougie Black Brother, and you tuned in to our music review on the unique side of the R&B and soul. And I got my co-host here, Sean.
What's going on? Son?
Chilling, bruh. And I'm glad we got these two together. These it wound up to be a little more unique than I, on the surface, took it. So I thought it became a lot more interesting when I started reading about both of them. Because I know we talked about it briefly. And then I started listening to it and reading and a couple of interviews and took a whole different approach to both of these. Sure. Which one seems the more interesting to you there, Sean?
So for me, I definitely want to start off with Janelle. It was interesting in the oddest ways.
Yeah. I have to agree with you. Sure.
No, yeah, we can definitely start off with that. Personally, my background on Janelle is slim. Because I never felt that energy from her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've seen her around very often. You know, she's not from Atlanta, but probably about 12 years ago. Damn, I think so. That's
she
pretty
a Riverdale
accurate
girl
number.
though, isn't she?
Something in that vicinity.
Okay.
No, I'll just say it like that.
All right.
But she kind of got her name out here messing with Dungeon Family. That was probably one of the first original times you kind of seen her around. And then, she had that little slash mohawk or whatever the hell you call that motherfucker. Her signature was like her little suit with that
the black
super
and white
crazy
shit.
dude. Yeah. That was like her little gimmick originally when she came out. But, she never really gave me that genuine energy, so I just brushed her off. You know what I'm saying? And then I started seeing her in Hidden Figures.
Yeah, some movies. She was in a couple of movies though, but that's the one that you really saw her stand out.
Right, but she wasn't as consistent on the music, so I kind of just brushed it off. And then she started promoting Django Jane. Mm-hmm. That was pretty much the first one she started promoting.
Okay.
And it took me a minute to watch the video. Because of course when you scroll through IG, you're gonna see a couple snippets of it anyways.
Right.
So I'm looking at it on IG and I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? But the everyone else is kind of like, oh my gosh, she snapped. This is hard. All the videos, this, so I'm not getting it. So she drops her album, Dirty Computer, right? And I'm like, okay, this should be interesting. I'm interested. You done got you a little buzz. You got your thing popping. Everybody know your name. Let's see what you working with, right? So I pop it in, and it's just average, bro. It's like, first off, it don't sound like R&B.
Nope.
At all. There's no sense of R&B in it until you get to the end. You know what I'm saying? It's probably like 2 or 3 tracks at the end. 2. I remember 2.
I got you.
And then she definitely gets the Prince one.
Mm-hmm.
Make Me Feel.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely took the Prince swag on that. And I give her credit for the homage. The song wasn't eerie. The song didn't, it wasn't like, I want to hear this shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, I know where this came from. Okay, you getting your Bruno Mars on. All right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my first time hearing it. And then I turned it off. And I was just like, okay, I'll get back around to it. And then, we talked about it on the last podcast briefly.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to get around to it. I literally didn't get around to it till today.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but I had time to listen to it. And she was everywhere. Mm-hmm. First and foremost. There was no solid direction that she was going on this shit. She sounded like a pop star.
Right.
Sound like and you know when I say she sound like a pop star and the beat sound poppy, you know what I relate that to.
Yep.
You know, and hint, she signed to Atlantic.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I was listening to the beats and I'm just like, where are you going with this? You know, there's an artist by the name of Pink who could have gave you the equivalent of this album and would probably sound just as good. And Pink is a good artist.
Yeah, Pink is she's entertaining, put it that way. I don't know about, I might as well say good. Okay.
She's a good artist. She's not a great artist. She's not as consistent as she should be. She had her baby girl, so, you know, I'm pretty sure that took her away from the limelight. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Pink, when she was hot, she was hot. You know, she wasn't great, but she was hot. She was in she had good music.
She was popular at the time.
Right. But that's what it felt like to me. It didn't feel like if this was her, oh man, I'm not fucking with her. You know what I'm saying? Like she's representing that she's saying that she's a pansexual now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to take that into perspective. You know what I'm saying? But this wasn't okay, I guess it was kind of techno gay clubbish, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. You know, but I'm reaching when I say that. You know what I'm saying? Pause, because I ain't never been in no gay club. You know what I'm saying?
so you can't say, yep, it's exactly one of those gay. No, I've never been there.
Right.
So,
but, you know.
But I've heard. You know,
it just sounds, it's the beats. The beats sound really Taylor Swiftish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'll get into a little bit more after you, but it just didn't grab me at all. Vocally, it was okay. Right. Lyrically, that's the best thing that I pulled out of this album.
Okay.
The writing was pretty damn good. I'll give it to her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the rapping with the singing,
no.
I wasn't feeling her rapping.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I was feeling the bars. You know what I'm saying? But it just wasn't going right with the voice.
Right. Well,
you know, so
I agree. So
did you catch any interviews or you watched any? You checked her out?
Yeah, I kind of did. So okay. I'm gonna jump in. You know, our last little snippet that when I listened to it, I was like, look, I'm not feeling this shit at all. I'm sorry. I went through it and I was kind of like, what the fuck is she doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know. Then, so I'm going to give you some perspective because once I started, I listened to it, but I read some articles and a quick interview. She was creating this album with Prince. So, creating the album with Prince. So he was advising her and they was going through a couple of things. So she was creating a sound pretty much similar to a Prince with a message.
Mm-hmm.
So when I kind of read that and then I listened to it again, and then I was like, aha, that's where I get this from. Prince does this. Prince is like, I'm going to throw my music out, but I'm going to have a message. But whatever I want to put out, I'm fucking doing out. It doesn't have to go together because I'm fucking Prince.
Right.
And you accept it. So as I slowed down, there's so many influences of Prince. I'll go with Dirty Computer. Lyrically, I loved it because it's pretty much almost like the Instagram one with J. Cole. I'm on a computer, and when you doing whatever dirty shit that you do, that's who I am. You dealing with me as a computer. So there's no anything like that. So I took that from that. So I liked it. I was like, okay, I see where you're going. And then the Crazy Classic Life was a Prince feel with the message saying, you know, fuck, you know, all of this other shit. If everything just goes bad right now, at least I had a crazy fucking classic life. And it was up-tempo to the point that I was kind of like, okay, I got it. I see where you're going with this. Take a Bite was That was a real Prince song right there.
Okay.
So, and then as you keep going through it, it changes your perspective. I swear to you, without hearing that she was working with him, I was trying to figure out, who is she trying to go with? What is this poppy? What is this fucking techno kind of old school? It's a Prince feel. So once you realize it's a Prince feel, then you start listening to her. Before, I really couldn't really listen to her with the type of production, and I was like, yeah. Now everything layered with her. She's not a great singer. She has a unique voice. So I was okay with that. You know what I mean? But I liked it. I started liking it. Is it one of my top? Oh, no. I'm going to recommend this. You need to hear this. But the critics, I think, and I'm being honest about that, I think the critics is giving her more credit because of her dealings with Prince and the influence that you hear on this release, as opposed to saying, is this a great album? Because there's some people saying this is a funky masterpiece that she created, and it ain't no fucking masterpiece. It's a very nice homage to Prince.
Prince. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm gonna say yes, because you caught that. But it's not just the one. If you really start understanding that that's what she was doing, you'll start
on the whole
hearing.
thing.
Yep, you'll start hearing it, and then you go, oh, okay. Then you start hearing the rhythms and everything else with that. Because I really didn't like the arrangement and all of this, because there's people that you expect it from, and I didn't expect it from her. Then it was like, is she trying to do it to create herself? And then I was like, no, this is an homage to fucking Prince. And I like it. I like what she did with it. And a lot of the things that she did within there and her messages and all of that was pretty damn good. And this album, listening to this one, is much better than anything I ever heard of put out. She had a couple of little things here and there, but you ignored it. Pretty much like what you said, that's my experience with her. This this album made her stand out for me because she tried some things, and it kind of worked. It kind of worked for me. But again, I'm telling you, Sean, if you did not realize that she was working on this album and Prince was giving her some insight on a feel that she wanted to do before he died and all of that, you would say, this is trash. This is just, it's not, I mean, not trash, but man, this isn't that good. But once you put it in that perspective and you hear it, you'll go, interesting. So I turned around and I liked it. It was weird. I'm telling you, bro, because you know, I told you, man, this is some bullshit. We're going to go straight into the little girls. Fuck that. But it's interesting, dude. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I mean, I can agree with that. I kind of heard it, but I don't think she was successful as she really could have been. You know, I
don't think she could be. No, I don't think she could be better than what she just did, dude. I really don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I see that you would probably say that if you really wanted to do something with Prince, you should have done better. I don't think she's capable of being better than what she just did. That's why I said this was a really good effort for her. Now, if you say, was this a good effort for someone that was dedicating to Prince, then you would say, no, that wasn't a good effort. You need to respect them a lot more than what you just put out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I originally thought that this was like a new lane she was trying to discover. I did notice that.
Right.
You know, because it was like, okay, this isn't R&B at all. You know, but you can put it under pop, but it sounds like she's not trying to put it under pop at times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like,
it
really sounds like she's trying to make her own lane with her sound. Right. You know, and to your point, Prince did that. Mm-hmm. You know, so I did see that part. You know, as far as the whole picture, I thought everything was just too random.
It was.
You know, just if Prince was here to organize the tracks together, maybe it'll sound better.
Right.
I just think the very beginning song, the intro song, should have been somewhere in the middle. It didn't. It threw me off guard the second time I listened to it because I'm just like, wow, you're gonna start it off like this?
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty decent track. You could have, slid this in a little bit later. Third, fourth track.
Right.
And it came in a little slower for me.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So when you heard Pink, you didn't hear the tones of Prince being sexual in a way, but really kind of, how would you say when you're trying to hide something, but not really, not really saying it, but trying to insinuate. With Pink.
She definitely. I thought it was. This is what I thought. I thought it was. I couldn't call it lazy, but I thought she wasn't as successful as it should have been. You know what I'm saying? She was a little too direct.
Okay. I agree.
It was like, you could have softened it up a little bit for me, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? But again, she's a pansexual, so I kind of took that into consideration.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, she talking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to my hoes and my niggas.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, but I think it's her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it's her. Because again, man, the lyrics were fine. I don't want to attack her lyrics. But I think the production, I think she could have been a lot more modern with her old school feel. But she missed it with the popness, with the pop in it.
So remember I said last time, it's about the arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
The arrangement of this album that she put out was not good. She didn't arrange her tracks properly to flow into each other. They just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They just fucking popped out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it really fucked me up because, as we've been doing our podcasts, we're listening to albums as whole, and the good ones are organized, arranged correctly. You know what I'm saying? Or just smooth enough to where you would be like, okay,
you accept it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because even the girls did it. The little girls did it too.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's what attracted me to the little girls, because their arrangement was perfect. And then I went back to Janelle and I was like, the fuck are you doing? This is some bullshit. But then I went back and read and say, oh, now I get the album, but your arrangement was still pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I definitely feel like,
the back end, the Don't Judge Me, I love that. I thought that was a really good cut. And it was an R&B kind of emotional type song, but it's in the back of the fucking, it's like, what is it, number 12? I'm like, but I loved it. And it was a really soulful, and she kind of was like, hey, the things that I do, but don't judge me, shit does hurt me, don't judge me. That's cool. But early in this bitch, you going hard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, I got the juice,
Right,
again, that was another in-your-face shit, not kind of, hey, I want to make you assume some shit. It wasn't poetic whatsoever. She was going hard like a nigga do. You know what I mean? And that reminded me of Milkshake. Girls in the yard.
Okay.
That reminded me of that. But the back end of it was real soulful. The front end was like, this is the Prince shit. You know what I mean? But I don't know how to do it well.
Right.
It was still
and I totally agree,
but it just didn't do it well.
Stevie Dreams was actually one of the better tracks, and like I said, and that was at the end, and she could have mixed and matched, she could have put a slow song first, then put Dirty Dreams, then put another, you know what I'm saying, just but she put Screwed and then Django, and then it was like come on, what is this? Yeah. Come on, man. I would have probably listened to it a little bit. I would have probably appreciated it a little more.
Yeah.
If it was a little further to the end.
Like the Screwed or the Django Jane. You could have brought those down. If you would have brought up like So Afraid, I don't really like that too much. but you could have brought that back up top.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't think that blended well. I didn't really like that one. I mean, I really didn't like that one. Americans, that was hey, I'm an activist. I got to put something on. But you put it on the back end again.
Right.
You know, who do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? Are you want to be an activist? Do you want to be a cold-hearted pansexual? I mean, what do you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was, to your point, that's why she was so much all over the place, message-wise. But she had some good messages of empowerment. You know what I mean? As a woman with relationships, with the government, she had some good empowering type lyrical stuff she put in. But the way she arranged that shit was like, what? Mm-hmm. And then you said, okay, she's on some dance shit, okay. And then all of a sudden she gets back into it again, and you be like, here come that crazy shit again, okay.
Right. You're not appreciating it. You're like, huh?
Yeah, you can't.
Whoa.
You can't. You don't like how you wind down, and you're just like, hey, let me just wind down before I get into something else. She don't allow you to wind down. She just cut you off at the feet and say, now here's a nice little cut to listen to. Like, damn, I was still all hyped. I just thought she was going to keep going with that. But so her arrangement wasn't good. And I think her effort was good, but I don't know, man. I appreciate what she did. And I really had her at the bottom of the fucking barrel. I was ready to bury this fucking album, dude. I'm serious. But I understand what she was doing, and then I started listening to the music, and then as I listened to the music and the tone, then I started listening to her lyrics. Then I was like, I like this. Okay. I don't love it, but I like it.
Okay. I feel you. You know what? It's very movie theme music, commercial music.
Yes.
You know, so that's really why I couldn't knock the whole album as trash, because you can definitely put it on a commercial. You know, I can definitely hear it at the ending credits of a movie.
It's slightly entertaining. You know
there
what I
you
mean?
go.
It can be entertaining. I had the kids dancing to the Make Me Feel. They love that shit. Because it was like, it was one of those, like you said, Bruno Mars type shit. You can dance, everybody jumping around. It's cool. They loved it. That's what it was. She got a couple of them on there because that's like a big time Prince. Jump up and down, hard guitars. You know, even the one that she had with Pharrell, I Got the Juice. That's another jump around.
It was.
So she had some, I need some club shit, you know what I mean? And go from there. But it was just, the arrangement was done badly. The arrangement of this album was done badly.
And that goes back to when we did the 7th Streeter. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know why I'm giving her this much credit. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
I blame it on the if Atlantic said you can do the track list, do it however you want, and we're gonna take it, then I blame her. But based on Atlantic being Atlantic, I'm pretty sure they had somebody try to help with the order of that of these tracks, and I just and this was an unsuccessful try for me.
So
personally.
I think this is her though. I think this is her, and the reason why I say I think this is her is she's the one that was getting it put together with Prince, not anyone else. It was her. So as she did it, she probably arranged it. Now, mind you, back to your point, someone probably said, nah, let's mix this in. You know, you got these hypersexual ones up here. Let's kind of like space this. No, I want it like this because I want people to know this, and then I want to wind
and
down.
I'm Janelle Monae.
Yeah, and this is what Prince said is going to be hype. All right, I think this is her.
Okay. Well, it definitely got great feedback. It definitely got great reviews for everybody else. So, you know, I heard it, but I was not impressed.
Yeah. So I liked it. I didn't love it, and I didn't. It's not on my highly recommended list.
Okay.
That's important. That was important for me to say that. It's not on my highly recommended list. There's a lot of R&B stuff that I recommend. I just think this is a good release.
Okay.
And the only way I would recommend it is, oh yeah, she did some cuts, in homage to Prince. So if you like Prince, you're gonna get that feel out of this.
Right.
Well, do you like it? It's okay. It's a good release, but I don't listen to it as much. So if you really say this is one of my big rotation things, no. But right now, I don't think there's that many women that I can throw on. So she gets the benefit of the doubt with that.
Okay. Yeah, for me, and them little girls, I like that. I like them little girls, bro.
Yeah, so we're gonna segue into that, but
yeah. So for me, I definitely. Let me see, man. I'm gonna be straight honest with you. I'm giving her credit for her writing.
Okay.
Okay. But like I said, it was some Taylor Swift beats, good lyrics, but the production falls short. I feel like if she can get her, there's a producer named Diplo. If she could get her a Diplo or Harry Fries or something like that, man, she can really elevate her lyrical vocals to a different place. Because just because Prince is your favorite artist don't mean you're gonna make music like him.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's like the rappers that want to imitate, big time other rappers.
Right.
That don't mean because you can flow on their production that you're just as good, or you can get the same feel that artist does. I don't get the same feel. I just hear Prince influence. That's a difference.
Prince influence. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's not.
For me overall, man, I definitely give it a 7.
Wow.
Solid.
Okay. That's nice of you.
Yeah, because again, man, I like bars. You know what I'm saying? And even though they weren't the greatest bars, she was still, she didn't have to go that hard. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I'm assuming, so basically that's Janelle though. You know what I'm saying? Of her going that hard. So I appreciated the writing aspect of it. I thought the production could have been, man, you could throw the production away on this album, personally.
So I hear you. You're saying production. I think it's the arrangement. And again, and the reason why I'm saying arrangement is because I think the production of her tracks were okay, but the way they were laid out is the problem. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you lay it out and you say this proceeds to, you just talked about Royce to the 5'9", and it started in one way and then it proceeded into something else. That was arranged specifically so it can say, here's this shit right here, but this is what I really want to tell you about. And you floated to the end. She didn't do that. That's arrangement. That's the arrangement of the album. And the production can be average, but if you arrange the lyrics, the feel, the tone of the album, and you got like a hot one and then something that you're trying to say something, then you go back into something else, you disregard the weak ones because you arranged it so well.
Right.
They failed to do that with this album.
Okay.
But you still can say production. I'm just saying, and I'm saying that this is how I assessed it because I like the production. But it was just so much. You started off exactly right. The shit was all over the place. If it's all over the place, but I still know what you're trying to do, but I'm only giving you credit because some of your cuts were done really well, your arrangement is just totally fucked up.
Right.
In that way. So that's how I kind of took it. But I mean, your feel is your feel, bro. I got you.
Yeah, man. 7. I'm rating high this year.
I see that. I totally see that. So
no, for real. If I'm rating high, you could just take a 0.5 off of everything.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I did. I had this bitch at a 6.5. It would have been lower. It would have been exactly a little over 5 because I would have never put this bitch back on. But then when I realized what she was trying to do and how she successfully did some things and her messages was really pretty cool in a lot of them, I reassessed. And she got some points off the straight. I had it a 6.5. I don't think I could go any. If it was a 7, that means I would really recommend it and I would probably play it randomly. You know what I mean?
Right.
I only put it back on because I wanted to be sure what I felt about this. I don't think it's that good. I even asked a couple of people, "Hey, did you hear this? Why don't you check it out and give me your thoughts?" Guess what? They didn't get back with me. So that tells me something.
Wow.
That either tells me they didn't get it or they got it and didn't like it.
Right.
So I'm okay either way. So if they come back and be like, "Oh yeah, it was okay." Yeah, I knew that. Because if they liked it, they would have been like, "You know what? That Janelle that you sent me, that was pretty good. You know, it gave me a feel of, I didn't get that." So 6.5, brother.
6.5. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up.
And you know, I love the curve that you on because we kind of like we're probably tied in really closely, bro. But with your curve, you're about 0.5 to 0.75 off of me and shit. So
it's about right, man. It's a method to my madness. So.
No, I got you.
You know,
So thanks for stopping by Car Wax, and stay tuned for our part 2 session of our music review of Chloe and Halle on a new release. The Kids Are Alright, a really great release. See you next time.
All my intentions. Should know by the way I use my compression that you got the answers to my confessions.